executive assistant, got a phone call from a lady in Birmingham, Alabama. At the end of the conversation, she said, Zig, she said, I believe this woman thinks she's got an impossible problem, but I believe you can solve that problem with her in just a few minutes if you will spend that time with her. I said, well, Laurie, tell her to meet me backstage. I'll get there about 10 minutes early. My schedule was such that was about all I had. Well, I got there, and I was on backstage behind the curtain on one side. She spotted me from the other side, and as she walked across the stage, I have never seen as much anger in a human being in my life as I saw in her. She almost started crying when she saw me. She said, oh, I'm just so glad to see you. I got this horrible job. I hate it. I hate everything about it. I hate everybody down there. I mean, you talking about negative nails, she was it. She said, can you help me? Now, understand, I've only got about 10 minutes. So I looked at her, and one thing I have learned, I don't do counseling, but I talk with a lot of people who do, in psychology, psychiatry, and the ministry. And they tell me that everybody who comes to you with a problem are not necessarily looking for a solution. I couldn't understand that for a long time. Why do they bring you a problem if they don't want to solve it? Well, I can tell you why. They want to tell you about it, you about it, you about it, you about it, and you about it. And if you foul up the deal and solve the problem, they can't tell you again, you again. They want the attention that goes with the problem, and every company just about it has that kind of an individual. They want the attention that goes with griping and complaining. Well, I looked at the lady, and it wasn't unkindly, but firmly I said to her, yes, and you know, ma'am, I'm afraid your problem is about to get worse. She said, what do you mean? I said, I believe they're going to fire you. She was stunned. I couldn't have stunned her more if I'd hit her in the face with a bucket of ice water. She said, fire me? Why on earth would they fire me? The inflection in her voice clearly said, they're the bad guys, I'm the good guy. Why don't they fire them and keep me? Have you ever noticed that people who are the problem never recognize that they are? They're in complete denial. They think denial is just a river in Egypt. Why would they fire me? I said, ma'am, I don't believe there's a company in America big enough to contain this much poison in one small spot. Have you ever noticed that when somebody is about to lose something they've been complaining about, whether it's a car, a home, a mate, a job, or whatever, when all of a sudden it appears they're going to lose them, it takes on brand new value. She looked at me and said, well, what can I do? I said, do you really want to know? She said, yes, I do. That's the reason I came to see you. I came looking for help, but you sure haven't been any help so far. I said, well, ma'am, I've got an idea, and I will absolutely guarantee you it positively, definitely, absolutely will work if you will just do it. She said, I'll try anything within reason. I said, okay, when you get home tonight, all of your household tasks are complete. It's bedtime. Get off in a room right by yourself. Get a sheet of paper out, and at the top of it, write, I like my job because. She interrupted me. She said, that'll be easy. I don't like nothing about that job. Don't like nothing about those people down there. And I said, well, just as a matter of curiosity, do you work there for benevolent reasons, or do they pay you for working there? She said, well, I got to confess, they pay me. And I said, and you don't like to be paid? Oh, she said, yes, I do. I said, okay, tell you what you do. Open your notebook right now. We'll start our list of the things you like about your job. They pay you for working there, and you do like it, don't you? She said, absolutely. But she just stood there. I said, no, open your notebook now, and we'll get busy on the list. She just stood there. I said, ma'am, let me tell you what my experience in life has been. I've discovered that in 100% of the cases, no exceptions, people who won't take step number one never take step number two. You see, she had come to me with an impossible dream. Her dream was that nice Mr. Ziegler was going to solve all of her problems, and she would live happily ever after. But folks, I got news for you. I can't solve her problems. I can't solve your problems. But I will give you some steps that I'll absolutely, definitely, and positively will work for you, as it worked eventually for her. I said, well, ma'am, let me tell you something. Unless you're willing to take step number one right now, it's been nice talking with you. She angrily opened her notebook. Before we got through, there were 22 things she liked about her job. Not only did they pay her for working there, they paid her above average. She had 3 weeks vacation with pay. She had a retirement program. She was in on profit sharing. She had health insurance, life insurance, and accident insurance. She lived less than 10 minutes from home. She was in on management decisions. The company sent her to 3 seminars a year to be paid for. She had her own private office and parking place. 22 things that she liked about her job. Now I said, ma'am, when you get home tonight, everything is finished. Get off in a room right by yourself. Close the doors. Change one word from I like my job to I love my job. Get in front of that mirror. And folks, I cannot say this strongly enough, but I'm going to try. The eyes are the windows of the soul. Look yourself in the eye. And with excitement and enthusiasm, say, I love my job because they pay me for working there. I love my job because they pay me above average for working there. I love my job because I have a wonderful insurance program. I love my job before every one of the statements. You will sleep better that night. You see, there's something hidden in what I'm saying to you now. When she says, I like my job, she's really saying, I'm grateful for my job. And of all of the emotions we can have, according to Hans Selye, the #1 stress specialist in America, the healthiest of all human emotions is gratitude. I said, you go down that list. I like my job. I love my job, rather. That is a way of gratitude. You'll sleep better the first night. Tomorrow morning, when you get up, get back in front of the mirror just before you go to work. Get back in front of the mirror and repeat the process again with excitement and enthusiasm. I love my job because, and take the list with you. Because the reality is, you see, you will have started to change from a fault finder to a good finder. Some people do really find fault like there's a reward for it. They really do. Take the list with you, and you will be able to add to that list, absolutely guaranteed. Do this every morning and every night, and you will have an astonishing recovery from this advanced case of stinking thinking. Now, I didn't say that to her, but I'm saying it to you. That's what it was. It was an advanced case of stinking thinking. Well, 6 weeks later, I was back in Birmingham, Alabama. I was doing a follow-up sales seminar. Now, the lady was not in sales, but she had been listening to my tapes. She had been listening to Automobile University, and she had discovered that everybody sells. Everybody who will ever hear this is in selling. Whether you're a school teacher, a civil service worker, a military personnel, an executive secretary, it doesn't make any difference. What you do, you sell every day of your life. There she was at the sales seminar, seated on the front row, grinning so wide she could have eaten a banana sideways. I'm telling you, you're talking about somebody that was excited. She was turned on. I said, well, how you done? She grinned even more broadly and said, Mr. Ziglar, I'm doing wonderfully well, and thank you for asking. She said, you cannot believe how much those people down there have changed. I got to lay it on the line, folks. You're not going to change anybody else till you change you. Everything really does begin with you. Now, you see, the unfortunate thing, this lady had been raised in a very negative environment. First, her parents had told her that she'd never amount to anything. They had said, you know, you're always late, you're always sloppy, why can't you be like your brother or your sister or whatever? When she got married, her husband had continued it, and so her self-talk had become completely negative. Everything that she said about herself was negative. Like Dad said, I'll never amount to anything. Or like my husband says, I can't do anything right. But when she started changing the input, then some radical change.
What's up, Fire Nation? Another bonus episode coming your way. This one was a great chat. I had a lot of fun with Terry Wilson. Terry is a serial entrepreneur who offers entrepreneurs and solopreneurs the tools, training, and technology needed to earn and enjoy more. For the past 13 years, he's helped thousands of hungry individuals discover their thing, develop the skills to do it, and be given a strategy to deliver it to market and produce value. Terry has a weekly podcast that can be heard on iTunes, Stitcher, and at terrywilson3.com. He also wrote a book called You Are Worth More, which you can check out at youareworthmorebook.com. We have a lot of fun in this episode, Fire Nation. I truly hope you enjoy. It's hard. It is hard work to achieve uncommon success. But you know what else is hard, Terry? Being broke.
You better believe that.
Living paycheck to paycheck, not being able to support your loved ones, not being able to support yourself, not being able to get up in the morning and do something that you want to do, but doing something you have to do. That's hard too. So Terry, my call to action for everybody here is choose your hard. Like back in 2012, it was hard. I spent 32 years of my life doing hard work and making the wrong decision on choosing my hard. I was going down the wrong path. I wasn't having any success. But then I flipped it and I said, you know what? Building this business, Entrepreneurs on Fire, it's going to be hard work. But the alternative is hard too. So I choose the hard of building a life of freedom, of building a life of choice, of building a life of uncommon success. And that's my call to action to everybody hearing our voices today. Choose your hard.
Choose your heart. Boy, I love that. You know, because there's a high cost of low living. And sometimes we think that, you know, we're just going to get out of this easy by taking the path of least resistance. And boy, sometimes the end of that path is just a tiger. I'm telling you, brother, I'm telling you.
Identify your big idea, not be a weak, pale imitation of somebody else's big idea, which most people do. They're like, oh, look at what Terry's doing. He's so successful. Look what John's doing. I'll just copy them. And then you wonder why you fail, because you're a weak, pale imitation of those people and you will never win as a result. You need to come up with your big idea, your zone of fire, and wake up every day on fire, living that life. That is the life that you deserve. Because what at the end of the day do we really want? Freedom. The ability to wake up and do what we want, where we want to do it, with whom we want to do it with. If you have those three things, what more is there in life? And you can give yourself that gift. Just take it.
Which is identifying why are you here? You know, I like to say it this way. You're not a cosmic accident. You didn't show up on planet Earth because lightning struck a mud puddle billions of years later and you crawled out. You're a significant person with a significant reason for being here. There's a reason for you to be here. And once you identify that big idea, as John just said it, life becomes, oh my gosh, becomes unimaginable. Give us another. Go ahead.
Just on that point real quick. I mean, I think it's so key for people to understand this, like what Terry is just sharing. There is so much wisdom out there in this world, but there's also so much noise and it's chaotic. And sometimes it's so hard to really cut through all of this and to really get to the meat and potatoes, to really get down to what matters.
Does anyone know Terry's story, what Terry did?
I do.
So Terry sold musical instruments, sold pianos, right? And what was it? Was it 9/11 that created the problem?
Yeah.
9/11 creates a problem. Nobody wants to go. There's no money in town anymore. It's a brick and mortar store. Some woman comes up to him in church, some older woman, and she's like, I was thinking about your problem, and the Lord told me you should sell them on the computer. Sell your pianos on the computer. And Terry's like, that's a great idea. I got to get out of here because you're crazy. So, of course, he does it in that sweet way where he says, oh, bless your heart. And
Bless your
he
heart.
thinks about it. And then he's like, you know, he told me about the story about, you know, the guy, it's a flood and, you know, you should get out. No, the Lord's going to save me. And at the end, he goes to God and says, why didn't you save me? He's like, I did. You know, I tried. I sent you the news report. I sent you a helicopter. You know. So Terry takes that and he's like, God's telling me what to do here, right? So I should do. That was the message. I should sell these things online. His first thought when the woman tells him that is, how am I gonna, because she said her grandson sold CDs.
On eBay.
Yeah, Terry's like, how am I, you could just put them, I can't put a stamp on a piano. This is crazy.
Drop it in the mailbox.
Yeah, so next day, right? The next day he starts sells them out in a week. So he doesn't think about, he doesn't latch on to his idea of I can't ship these things cheaply, right? He just goes past that. He goes, well, what's my first solution? My first solution is I got to sell these things. That's all he's thinking about. He sells out his whole inventory in a week. Then the problem comes to him. How do I get rid of these things? I've now sold them. How do I deliver them? So what would you guys have done?
Hire a U-Haul and drive them out there.
Yeah, that's what Terry did. Terry got a truck and just was like, well, I'm gonna take my brother-in-law. We're gonna go around the country. We're going everywhere. And he delivered pianos for 2 weeks. That's amazing. And then, and then he's like, oh, and the next thing is I talked to someone.
Welcome to TerryWilson3.com, home of TW3. Are you ready to take your money, business, and life to the next level? You are worth more, and you're about to hear how and why. So buckle up and listen up as we journey to the next level. Please welcome your guys to reach your goals, the TW3 family.
What's up, everybody? This is Reagan. You're listening to the TW3 podcast. This is episode
511.
That is a lot of episodes. I remember just celebrating the 500th.
I'm telling you. Hey, cold opening here too.
Yeah, a little bit of a cold open. How's everybody doing today?
No script today.
No script, just flying by the seat of our pants.
Yeah.
Scriptless.
Do you know it's been almost a month since we've done a podcast?
I believe
a
it.
live podcast like this. Do you remember which one was the last one?
No. Well, 5'10", 5'9", 5'8", 5'7".
It was Legacy, which would have been with Timmy.
Yeah.
That was a while ago, yeah.
Wasn't that a while?
It was a
like
month ago.
Month ago.
It doesn't feel like that long for us because we're doing so many general trainings and you're making all these videos and I'm with the guys on tickets all the time. So it's just
It is just February has been a crazy month to say the least. It's just been nuts. But hey, the videos are I'm getting a lot of feedback on it that seems to
they're helping.
and clients are liking it, and our prospective clients I think are getting a lot of value out of it. I'm trying my best to be, as Billy Shakespeare said, brevity is the soul of wit. So I'm trying to be a little wittier with my presentation and just.
I'll tell you what I like the most.
What do you like the most?
You shortened it up.
Well, yeah,
short and sweet.
Brevity.
In today's day and age, everybody's got ADHD. So I want to what's the cool
what's
thing?
the point?
What are you doing?
Unlike this podcast where we just drone on and on.
Long-winded, philosophical.
No,
I mean, there's a time and place. Joe Rogan's got the #1 show. They're like 4 hours long. There's a time and place for brevity.
For long format.
But when you're telling somebody, hey, our tools are awesome, they do all these cool things, not that many people have time for a 30-minute segment.
Well, they're not worried about our brand, who we are as a company.
Yeah.
Just get in. What is this thing going to do for me? So if you've not gone over to I know most of the people that consume our podcast is not on YouTube. They're in our audio format. But check out the videos over at TerryWilson3.com/YouTube. We've covered, I think, what have we covered? Gosh, it's been so much.
You've put out like
Jamie, pull that up. What do we?
Terry, pull that up.
Yeah, y'all talk. I'll pull it up.
So you want to jump into what we just were segueing from?
Yeah.
So go ahead, River. You're never going to be late again.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
So,
River. Why are you never going to be late again?
All right. So I just want to preface, I am notorious for being late. And not just 5-10 minutes late, very late. Everywhere I go. And that includes work.
Even this work.
And
you live here.
Yeah. So I don't know what it is, but it's not going to happen anymore. And I'll tell you why. I've got a new job.
Yeah.
This job is not as nice as my old job. When they want to tell you something, there's no filter. They're going to tell you exactly how they feel. And, there's a lot of times in my life where I thought, this is what the point that made me from a boy to a man. This is truly the point what made me from a boy to a man. Made me solid.
This is a defining moment.
I got my butt chewed out, and the nicest way I could put it.
It wasn't put nice to you.
It was not put clean or nice. It was,
When I was told, it was very straight up.
So I was just, long story short,
you were late.
I was late again. I slept over, and I got called into the office. The first manager was when I first got there. He chewed me out, cussed me out. I understood. Second manager, he's a general manager. After my shift, he called me into the office and told me in so many words, this is not going to happen again. And I'm telling you, it won't happen again because you're out of here if it does happen again. Me saying that is not scary. Someone who is scary
was who told me.
who has your job by their hands and saying, this is not going to happen again. I felt it in my soul. And I said, I'm a man now. This toughened me up. It went, because at our old job, you remember, if they were mad at you, there was a line there that you couldn't cross because then it kind of contradicts their brand.
Yeah.
This is minor league Army. It's
Can I tell you something? Like, as you move up in any job, and Dad can probably attest to this.
Yeah.
As the stakes get higher, you'll get more and more reactions. So you're just saying how good your paycheck was from Saturday, right?
Right.
And you realize like, oh man, I made that's like an entire week's worth in one day just because you're serving, right? Well, there's a reason that they take that position so seriously, and there's a reason he's like, hey, I know you're making good money. If you don't show up, I'll kill you.
Yeah, exactly.
Like that type of anger, and you're in the food service industry, which let me tell you, he knows, obviously.
Well, I was in the food service industry
Well, then
for
you
a
know,
minute.
too.
It's in chapter 1.
It's like, for some reason, that field specifically, the higher you go, just the more refined the anger gets. Like Chef Gordon Ramsay. But it's like, those guys are out there and they're always in the kitchen. They're always running those type of stores.
Yeah. It's intense.
I'm proud of you.
Thank you. Thank you. It was what I was
had
telling,
my fair share of that.
Yeah. It was what I was telling Dad. I was like, I thought you were scary. And this was the moment where I felt solid. He makes grown men cry. Yeah. Not Dad, but my
Well,
boss.
I have been known.
You
to.
have.
Yeah.
This man made me cry. And it made me cold. It made me say, that won't happen again.
Well, there's a passage there that says, the fear of the Lord is the beginning of wisdom, which means the deeper respect you have for the way the universe works and the authority of the universe, you start to become wise.
Yeah. Definitely.
Like for instance, the fear of gravity, the respect of gravity and how it works is the beginning of wisdom. Oh, I shouldn't skate that close to the edge.
Right.
That's what you learn as a child.
Right. It's I was telling Dad, this is the first job that's an adult job. You have to be an adult to get it, and you're going to be treated exactly like an adult.
Yeah.
So there's no grace that
there's
child grace.
There's a passage in here. I don't know if you read chapter 1. Have you read my book?
Yeah, I have.
There's the thing in there that says, I was reflecting back on my time at McDonald's, my first job away from family. And my line was, it did exactly what it was supposed to do, which was to wake me up from a deep sleep that adolescence affords everyone. Yeah. And it just shoved me into reality.
Yeah.
And the cool thing is, you're seeing it now at age 18. And what would be a shame if you were 40 years old and didn't still see this concept. And there's a lot of people that are still on chapter 1. Yeah. But you're figuring out, and that's what I'm so proud of you and love the fact that
I love that you got your ass chewed out.
He came home and he was telling me this story, and I could tell he was bothered by it. He was genuinely affected by it emotionally, affected by it, everything he just did not like, because not just the trauma of the drama.
Right.
I didn't mean to rhyme, but
bars.
Do what?
I said bars.
I'm spitting bars. Yeah. But he didn't like the fact of he wasn't performing at his highest level he knew, right?
That was the most. Yeah. And again, it's not to make me look better, but that moment took away all the confidence and
humbling.
It humbled me. It was like, okay, I'm not as good as I think I am. I'm not as smart as I thought I was. This is something I actually got to work on. And the day after, he was like, hey man, those mistakes didn't happen again. And I was like, it won't happen again.
I am motivated.
Message received.
So that day difference changed me completely as a person, where those mistakes will never happen again. And I was making sure if he was around, I was moving,
But you see the motivation he was able to provide you?
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
The key to success, in my opinion, is being able to do that to yourself, for yourself.
Yeah.
And not require outside stimulus.
Right.
To be motivated.
Right.
But I can say things to myself in a certain manner that will.
Right.
Right. That's the key.
And I will say it was exactly what I needed. I needed to get my ass chewed out.
Yeah.
And I needed.
Shout out.
Yeah. So shout out my boss. Great guy. He really is.
Honestly, that's growth, man. That's so many people don't see that life is here for you. It's not against you.
Yeah.
It really is.
Remember how many times we would have conversations about just people and you'd be like, I don't like that guy. I'd be like, yeah, I mean, but I like him a lot. Like, that is why. Yeah. It's like there's a respect.
Right. Exactly.
You get why some people wouldn't, obviously. Yeah. It's like,
no one likes to be chewed on.
Sure. I'm sure, that guy's probably annoying to some people, but like anybody that can speak to you and when you receive the message loud and clear, it's like, oh, now I get it. There's a respect there. It's
I told him, I was like, there's no hard feelings. I don't have any defense. Every time I got chewed out, was 100% deserved. You know,
but being able to recognize that is good.
That is growth.
well, I hope so.
Well, I'm telling you, you know, faithful are the wounds of a friend. People that care enough about you to tell you the things that's going to hurt you, but they're telling you things that hurt you not to hurt you,
Right.
but to help you.
Exactly.
But they're willing to hurt you to help you. That's the people I want to be around.
Oh, yeah. 100%.
That's the people that's going to make me better.
Yeah.
You know, I don't need people that validate my bad behavior.
Exactly. Yeah.
I need people that says, Terry, you're better than that, and willing to risk the friendship in the relationship to get in my grill and say, do better.
Yeah, it's appreciated. It really is.
Yeah.
So respect.
Well, good for you. Good for you. Yeah.
Thank you.
But we've been spitting out videos. Go over to terrywilson3.com/YouTube. There is videos on how to produce term life insurance leads, 4 areas of mastery was the last podcast I did. That was episode 510. Never forget to invoice your client. Again, I showed a video on that. I showed how to use social media to pinpoint your ideal client. I showed my top 2 affiliate softwares. One's WordPress and then a plugin for that WordPress site. That's something I don't even sell. It's over there. I showed how to create triggers to grow your sales. I showed how to automate appointment strategies. All of that I did literally, guys. I'm going back here. I did that in the last 7 days.
You've been busy.
I have been spitting out some content.
Every time and then it's good content too.
I hope.
Because a lot of times if there's a lot of content,
it can get,
it's just like too much. But none of your stuff has been, you know, you're not just rehashing the same thing every time. You're like, these are all the different tools and all the things we use, and without even being very salesy, it's just, this is what we're doing.
Well, no, it has nothing to do with it. As a matter of fact, a lot of that stuff I'm saying, hey, we sell some of the software that I'm illustrating, but you can get that otherwise. So I'm trying my best to give value to the marketplace, just to help out, because I know a lot of businesses right now are the two areas that businesses are struggling, that at least we're seeing. Number one is in the recruiting space, recruiting new talent, because, you know, the great resignation, as people are talking about it, and it's getting harder and harder to find good talent. And there's all kinds of sociological reasons and political reasons that I'm not going to get into that, but that it is a reality. No matter where you land on the side, it's a hard time right now to find good people to work, and there's good people out there, but it's hard to find and delineate who those are and get them recruited and get them excited. So we're able to help clients in that space, and then help clients bringing in customers, getting that phone to ring, getting people into that restaurant, that retail shop. Those are areas, these are problems that we are solving for clients, and so it's a great thing. Now, you guys seen this business grow over the last 13 and a half, going on 14 years this coming July. You know what we do here. You've seen the behind the scenes. You know what I do. You've seen me work. You see the tools I use. So I want to ask you guys, what do you guys think from your perspective, which is an inside perspective? What do you think is not me personally, what do you think this business's greatest asset is? What do you think the thing that helps us make money, stay in business?
It's the training.
You think it's the training?
I think it's the training, and we're open about it. You can get what we use anywhere else. You might not get it for the same price, but you can get it elsewhere. And there's a benefit too of our cost. I think that's a big component because we're cheaper. But the main thing I'm typically talking to, you know, whether it's a business owner or just guys that's looking at the opportunity side of what we do.
Sorry.
I typically
That's a show.
find out next time. No, what I typically tell them though, it's the training, you know, and not just the training module, not just the videos we create, but every Thursday you open up your schedule. You're making sure, well, not every Thursday, but most Thursdays you open up your schedule. We're doing those elite trainings. You know, you get a coach as soon as you onboard. We have ticket support that, even though, you know, it might take a few hours to get back to you, we will get back to you. Like there's a lot of lines for, hey, I'm stuck in this area, whether it's the sales aspect, whether it's a technical aspect, even if something's broken, you know, we're very like, hey, we'll get a ticket into our developer. We'll tell you exactly what they're telling us. So I would say what separates us is the training.
Training. What would you say, River?
From members, I would definitely agree. Training is what separates us from any CRM or any business that's in our field. I would say, I've heard from a lot of people that you are really good at marketing. You know, I think your marketing helps us a lot. Definitely.
the marketing side of it. So there's all kinds of things, and I agree. The training, I think, is helpful. I think the community is another asset that I try my best to bring back to the forefront, because let's face it, there's all kinds of organizations out there and agencies that you can employ as a small business owner to do your lead generation, your marketing, the training for those different components. I know if you're a restaurant, retail shop owner out there, or you're an insurance guy, there's all kinds of different places you can go to get tools and get training on those tools.
Sure.
I think the community is definitely important, especially in the backdrop of what we've been through for the last 2 years, where everybody's been isolated. Now, our lifestyle hasn't changed because we've always been a work from home. You know, we manage our business and our clients from our home office. So that hasn't changed, but we've been able to help other people bridge and go from going into that 9-to-5 brick and mortar office to more of a remote, and give them the tools to do that.
Which is always cool to see.
That's cool. That's very cool. But I think, you know, I won't say it's the greatest asset, but it's an asset that I think, not appreciated enough. I guess is the best way to say it.
And it's me.
That's true. That is true. No, it's River. No. No, and here's why I say this, because we've been doing a lot of refocusing our brand and what we're doing, and with all of these various tools that we've had, we've been it's opened up all kinds of different markets to us that we've had before, but it's just really, really strengthened that market. I mean, I'm working with a major multi-million-dollar corporation tomorrow on some of their recruiting and stuff. And it's because we've got the ability to do things that a lot of other companies don't have, because everybody's in these silos. You've either got this company over here that does marketing, or you got this company over here that does lead generation, or you got this company over here that offers products and will offer something. And then you got this company over here that offers recruiting. We're unique in the fact that we're sort of
it's versatile.
We've got multiple verticals, and because it's coming from the same company, it's congruent. So our CRM is going to work with our marketing campaigns. Yeah. You know, and all of this stuff.
Well, I think that's kind of, you said it better than I did, but that's, I guess, what I'm trying to say when I'm saying training. Because when I'm thinking of the way we do our trainings, I'm looking at the background of where we started to where we were 5 years ago to where we are now. We've been in a lot of different businesses. And then I look at, well, who have we all worked with? And most of them are still here. It's, you know, a lot of different people from different fields.
Right.
And so when we have once a week, maybe it's a little, I'm being too specific with our ELTs, but I'm just thinking it's like, if you're an ELT member, you have got a wealth of knowledge to come and bring a question to. You can go, well, this is the market that I'm in.
Right.
This is my goal, whether that be I want to, you know, I'm looking for leads, or I'm looking to push this, or I like your RMPs, I'm looking for like whatever it is. And then you've got 5 or 6 people that have been doing this for, you know, forever.
A community.
On top of another 20 people that are also, you know, it's just like.
Yeah. So that's important. But I to go back to the one asset that I have not appreciated enough is our data list and our list of customers on file. I mean, we've got 300 and some odd thousand people that over the last 355, 360, somewhere along those, and then 55 active that are just actively, constantly grabbing our emails or seeing this or seeing that or doing this. And by the way, I don't know if you saw our app, just so everybody knows how this works. Our application, if you're getting an email from me, it's coming from our app. Okay. Even though it says Terry at terrywilson3.com, if you respond to that email, it doesn't come to me personally. It just goes into our app, and then we get alerted, and someone in support sees it. You, Gabby, or whoever, some of the others that we have. And so I just so happened, because it was, and by the way, congratulations, 1 year anniversary.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah. So Reagan was married 1 year ago yesterday.
Yeah.
And so I knew you were out of town, so I was just going through and seeing some of the things, and I noticed someone had responded to an email, and he goes, "Hey Terry," and I would have never seen his email otherwise, but it just so happened I was perusing through, and it said, "Hey Terry, you have been like a tick up a dog's ass with these emails." Give me a call.
Nice.
I was like, well, I've always said persist until they tell you to go, because you can always opt out.
True.
You know, but the app is what's pushing those things out.
Yeah.
And it's pushing it out to a data list. And what I want to talk to our folks tonight about is the importance of capturing leads with and building that list. I've said it many, many, many times. The loot is in the list. And it brings me back to my appreciation of our list, because we sort of curbed our marketing expenditures the last 2 weeks because I was focusing on these. You can't walk, at least I can't. And we were I need to stop, create this content, and we're not going to focus so much on the business opportunity right now. We're focusing on tools right now. And so we haven't been running a lot of ads, you know, and your appointments have gone down a little bit because of that, right?
Yeah.
But in creating this content and just go ahead and sending it to the list of people that we've accumulated over the years, what, 5-10 grand in business?
Yeah.
That has, and so that is, those are sales that are converting on no new ad spend. And that's the importance of having a list. You know, Amy Porterfield says, you know, she would take her list over anything she could do on Facebook or Twitter or Instagram any day of the week. And so I saw this online, and I thought I would just bring it up tonight. I don't think most people, do you know what the average return on investment is with top top marketers when they were talking about what their return on investment is compared to other things? This is wild.
With their email marketing?
Well, let's say they're comparing email marketing or keyword marketing, like going to Google and buying keywords,
sure,
or banner ads, like paying to have your banner ads.
Instagram, TikTok.
So the return on investment, out of those three, which do you think gives the best ROI? Done by a national study of marketers.
I'm trying to think of what the price for each one would be, but I'll go with banner ads. That'll be my final answer.
Okay.
Because that's honestly off of instinct. Even that's probably not the answer. I would think it would be banner ads.
Banner ads, statistically speaking, for every $2, for every dollar you spend, you make $2. So you double your money.
Okay.
Wow.
Okay. What about keywords? So that banner ads is a 2-to-1.
Yeah, depends on the money. Depends on the market, but I have no idea. I don't know.
These were done by a bunch of affiliate marketers and online marketers and stuff, and it was 17-to-1. So every dollar spent, they make $17.
Wow. Okay.
Okay.
Well, what's the last one?
I vote email.
Email is 40-to-1. And the reason is because, think about it, I'm pushing out probably on a day-to-day basis about 50,000 emails.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Okay.
How much does it cost for a banner
right?
ad? Yeah, that makes sense.
So the point is this: building your list is
Important.
very important
Kind of vital.
It's vital.
Yeah.
And one of the other assets you get at TW3 is that jumpstart of us being able to populate your CRM
Yeah.
with targeted data.
Yeah.
Now, that is why. And so, with the CRM that we have, not only is it email, and that was one of the other, go back and watch one of how to improve your open rate on email. I mean, I did a training back, let me pull that up so I can give the exact name, but it was, and it was a real popular one, 300% more customers in only 90 days. Is it that one? But I show how to jumpstart your open rate and get your open rates, really jacked up. And the way you do that actually is through a combination of email and text. Because if you can train your clients, because texting does cost a little more money, But if you, in the first days of that opt-in, can condition your clients to, hey, I sent you an email. Did you get this? Hey, did you get this? Check your junk, spam, or promotional folder because it might go on. And then even with our CRM, occasionally leave a voicemail drop.
Yeah.
Hey, this is Terry. Just wanted to reach out to you this week and tell you thank you. I've been sending you some emails. Check that out if you hadn't seen it and respond to me. Let me know. All of a sudden,
that gives you a wide playing field. You've got a lot of ways you can take it.
Our open rates are through the roof because of that.
Yeah.
Now, and you just do that on the front end of that opt-in. So you've got that client condition to do that. But I thought that was just absolutely amazing. Now, check this out. Email also has a higher conversion rate. That is, for every piece you send out, someone's actually buying something. You're making a sale. So emails have a higher conversion rates per session than social media, all of social media combined. Check this out. Email, you get an average 4.16% conversion rate. Search 2.6. Social media 0.48. And social media costs so much more.
Yeah.
That's what
I'm thinking. Email has to be the cheapest option out of banner ads.
Well, you think about it because you're a podcaster and you started your podcast. And yes, native search is going to help in some regards,
right?
And posting in it. But if you could have a blog and then offer something that you're going to give away on your blog, offer some sort of maybe behind the scenes thing or something of some value. What do? I give leads away. Opt in here and I'll give you a couple leads just to try out our stuff. But I'm incentivizing some way to get into my opt-in. Why has a nobody that can barely spell and terrible time articulating a thought half the time, how can they build a podcast?
Well, I did it with
the way I did it. No, but everybody's going about this backwards. They're trying their best to be King Ding-a-ling on social media.
Right.
And I'm not going to compete in that area.
I do think you might win an award, though, for the most emails sent out with typos.
Absolutely.
I'm thinking of the amount of emails you send.
I can't spell without
versus like how many people probably like open an email. Like on your level, typically when you're sending out that many, those things probably read pretty good. Your emails can be hit or miss. Sometimes very articulate. And most of the time you are articulate. You just can't
can't spell.
You just can't spell.
I can't spell. I'll mistype something. Like the other day I mistyped my own name.
Yeah.
Because
Terry Wildon.
Or how about the most books sent out with a giant error all over?
Oh my word! And it's been that way for years.
I like it though. It's kind of like a brand.
Yeah, it looks authentic.
Well, it goes to my argument. I'm tired of people making excuses they can't make it in life. Because good Lord.
Yeah.
Exhibit A.
What do you do for a living? Speak. What do you struggle with?
Speaking, and I blog, and but I can't spell and I can't talk. So what's your excuse? So I'm just telling you, list building needs to be, if you're out there, your business owner needs to be your number one priority. And you say, well, Terry, how do I build a list? Well, you can, you get our CRM, you become a member. We sell data pretty darn cheap, so we can jumpstart that. But here's some ways if you're going to do the old fashioned, which I would tell you to do, because a list that has seen some sort of content, has heard a podcast, has seen a video, has watched you on social media, those are always going to be the best. Or through some lead generation techniques that we show you, because we are a lead generation system, those are always going to be way better data. So step one, create some amazing incentives. So you got to be thinking to build your podcast, what's some things that you can give away? And you say, well, I don't have anything. Well, you know the age group and you know the type of people that are probably going to listen to your, what do you call that, content?
I guess so, yeah.
What do you call it? Whatever it is that you're doing.
Whatever, no, seriously. Would you say, for instance, the majority of people that listen to your show are into games, video games specifically? Are they gamers?
I'd say like 40%.
Okay. Well, let's find the common thread. Culturally, do they like music? Do they like sports?
Yeah.
Like for my show, it's business. What's the thing that is going to be the common thread?
I would say his common thread is like millennial and Gen Z humor.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's a little darker, but it's like
Yeah.
It's like goofier, so that's the lightheartedness.
So here's what you do. You go over to our RMP. You find something over there that's one of those giveaways, right?
Yeah.
That's going to appeal to that.
Look. We got boomer humor. All right.
Boomer humor.
Why can't we get one? That's all I'm saying.
But I'm just saying you get something and then you just give it to them as a opt-in. You just put an opt-in on your thing. You send it to them. You know, boom, boom, shake the room. And then you start building your list. And then every time a show comes out, you push it, hey, dudes and dudettes, or whatever the language is for your crowd.
Rivers is probably, sup, baby.
Sup, baby.
It's like a very intimate message to all those people.
Create an incentive. Number two, have an email sign up all over your site. Now, this is the cool thing about our chat bot.
Can I say it?
Yes, please.
All right. Part of what's cool about the chat bot, think about it. Anytime somebody goes to TerryWilson3.com, the first thing that pops up is your face going, hey, you have a question? Now, people use this for a lot of different reasons. We use it for ticket support. So you got tickets, people send it in there all the time. But what's cool is, even if you don't know anything about TW3 and you just had a general question, you could send it in. We need your name, your number, and your email.
What did we just capture?
You're now, yeah.
As a matter of fact, we have you tagged as someone that just came through the chat bot, so we know how to communicate to you.
And then, exactly. It doesn't have to just be through the chat bot. We've got orientation videos that if they click a certain part of, a video, it's going to send them and tag them that way. That there's so many ways you can take it, because then you can sort, and then you're not only do you have your huge list, you have sub lists of this is who I'm talking to when I'm talking about finance. This is who I'm talking to when I'm talking about, insurance. You're on an insurance campaign.
And the cool thing about these is you can capture these folks even away from a website, because I know I've got a lot of guys that are in the trades. They're cutting grass. They're doing other things. You could slap a number on the side of your truck, and as soon as someone calls in, you're capturing them as a lead.
Yep.
You're building your list.
Yep.
Every time. The beautiful thing about some of this technology is every time someone engages you, and now with our app and the way it's going to communicate with Facebook, someone communicates with me, because you've probably seen through.
What we get really common is the people think it's you texting back and forth, and then they call you, which I hate to burst the bubble. It's actually more than not just Terry. It's actually us. But
9 out of 10 times it's not me. You're speaking for me.
Yeah.
But that's cool. Another thing I'm going back to, and we're re-releasing this. We had to take it off of our network site, and this is one more reason. If you're a member out there, this is another thing you'd want to do to go over to your own independent site through our system is pop-ups. I did a campaign this weekend, and it was my last training. I don't know if you saw my last training, but I was talking about how to target your ideal client, and I misspelled ideal. I left the L off, and it was an idea client.
Very cool.
And Miller Time came and says, don't you mean ideal? I said, of course I do. I just can't spell. So I had to go back and redo all that.
Idea client.
No, I want someone that's got an idea.
I'm looking for creatives.
I'm looking for creative people. No, but it popped this thing when I was doing it. I was like, hey, I could put this as a plug-in to all the folks that get our independent websites, because I had to pull. Remember, we used to have this pop-up plug-in over on a network site, but it was conflicting with this and that. And that was one of the reasons why we got away from having network sites or telling people you need to go over independent, which you can get a website from us for $6 a month, which is cheap. Just TerryWilson3.com. But if you're a member, we can turn you on to, and even if you're not a member, we'll show you how to get this pop-up software I use. That is really cool. And the way to use this stuff is there's two ways. Sometimes if it's content on the blog or whatever, that I've got some sort of congruent offer that'll go along with that content. Like I was talking about the thing with Russia and Ukraine. And there was a blog about how this going on over there right now is going to affect your pocketbook right here. It's going to affect gas prices. It's going to affect stocks and certain things. I had like 4 different things laid out. Here's how what's going on around the world is going to bring an effect to you. And so you need to be prepared for this just in case different things financially. And then after you're there, about 10, 15 seconds reading because most people read the big print, the bold print. I know that.
They read the headline.
They're reading the headline. I have a pop-up that says, hey, do you want to take a free financial survey to see how healthy you are financially? It's a free survey to show you when they pop, boom, boom.
Yeah.
It's a way to capture and to bring value. And then,
well, you'll notice most big players, that's how they do that. Most big blogs that you'll follow, that's what they have.
That's how they're doing it. So it's a cool thing to do. Number 4, use the right words. Terry Wilson, use the right words. It's vital that you show the value of your incentive within your email opt-in pages. So, and I do try to use words correctly. I just don't spell them correctly, but that's a great way. Number 5, install a bar across the top of your website. But if you've got the chat bot, don't need it. That's what's cool about the chat bot. Create a wait list. If you run a popular course, this is really cool. Something I have not ever employed, but I saw this like, I need to be doing that, because there's certain things that I do, certain courses, rather than just push it out when I have it, hold it back. Create some a wait list that
this premieres this time.
Yeah,
yep.
And then you can build upon your list. So that's a great one. Add a sign up to your email list signature. You send dozens of emails out daily. It's likely that some of those people would love to be a subscriber. When you add a subscriber link to your email signature, you make it easy for them to sign up. So what there's talking about is like the individual emails that you're sending out. One-on-one. Hey, you know what I'm saying? And they're not through your system. They're not in your CRM or on your list. So put that in your headline. So those are just some of the ways that you can build a list. But I wanted to put this podcast out tonight and just tell people we've had clients that, and you know this, some of our top producing clients this past month, they've all got one thing in common. They've been in the game a while. They got a big list. Right?
Yeah.
And if you want a sustainable business, you want a business that's going to survive ups and downs, ins and outs, get your list, because I'm out there constantly doing new client acquisition activity.
Yeah.
Post ads. I'm putting out content. Got to do that. But what's reassuring is having an inventory of people already.
And what it allows you to do, if you're in the space that you're in, is you can continue to grow that list, because that affords you the ability to put time into creating content, which I think that's part of what people don't see, but there is like such a real world aspect of dollars to time when it comes to editing content, because it's going to take you, just for, this podcast, when you release it on iTunes or whatever, it takes time. Like
it takes.
All of it does. And you've got trainings coming out every day, but it's great. That's what you're saying. You have a resource that you can use that affords you the ability to do this, which then furthers the resource. And we show people how to set it up the exact same way.
Well, and I think our members really appreciate the new content, because they're out there in the process of building their list. And so the time it takes to build content is not readily available yet. So they depend on us to make, and that's how I think they're really digging on some of the new, hey, here's how you do this, here's how you do this.
Yeah.
Because it keeps them focused on build my list, because as you have a larger list, you have larger and more opportunities to convert.
We talk about it all the time. You say it all the time. It's like drinking from a fire hydrant. I think putting all of this stuff out is kind of like taking our words to heart, which is that we break it up piece by piece. We're trying to show you, at least through small illustrations, like, yes, there is a larger puzzle, but here's just some of the stuff that you can do with it.
Yeah, was it you?
It's
or
more digestible.
Someone was asking, it was a new client that's onboarding, a new elite from Florida that was onboarding. He was asking, he goes, I've been following you, and this was one of the people that's coming on board. I think we're working on his finance right now and getting him pushed through. But he had been on the list for 8.5 years. 8.5 years.
Wow.
So I'm telling you guys, if you're not building your list, what are you doing? That is, a common friend of ours, I'm not going to mention names or anything like that because I don't want to embarrass anyone. But because he don't come from the online space, he has a retail shop area. It's never occurred to him that every stinking person that comes through that door, your number one priority is get their information.
Yep. Everywhere you go, that's what they want now.
You gotta have it.
I went to 2 stores today that you wouldn't think you'd need to, and I don't blame them either. But I went to get a coffee, and I went to buy a basketball. And you would really think, I mean, of course, it was an Adidas store, but I'm just saying, it's like you wouldn't really think that I need to give up my info to get coffee. But it's like, I swear, at the Adidas store, it was 3 different ways. They wanted my name, number, email. The first way they did it was they wanted a survey with the person that helped me. The second way they did it was when I checked out, they wanted my email. And the last way they did it was like when I went to the door, they had like, you can fill out our thing if you want to, you have any comment. And it's just like,
they're intentional.
Data
is king.
Yeah. Data's king.
And it's entered our politics because of all the back and forth of, how big do we want social media to be? Mm-hmm. And the reason why is everybody scared? Everybody's scared of Facebook. Everybody's afraid of all these social media is because of the data they own.
Yeah.
I mean, so data is dollars. And the more you can collect and the more you can have, not to do nefarious stuff and all that, but just to be able to constantly.
So I can send them mistyped emails.
So I can prove to them that you too
can also do this. Look at me.
Look at me.
I didn't spell hello right.
I guarantee you the invitation to tonight's live stream
will have 1 typo in it.
It has to.
There's no way.
And that's why we asked Miss Spelling Bee, what are you doing? What are you doing?
Very similar to River. You know how we used to go with River? Yeah. Why are you late? Like, why?
Why?
Like, you just for you, a lot of times, like, just read it.
Just read.
Just read it before you post it.
Before you send that, could you just take a moment?
You see those little red lines under it? That's telling you that's not right. That's what that means.
Oh, man. The problem is when I get an idea, if I don't act on it,
you're very intentional about like, it's on my head now. I'm doing it now.
Well,
I'm not gonna waste time.
You know me.
I get it.
It's my strength and my weakness.
Yeah. But my thing is, you need to allocate some. Okay, before I send this email, people need to think I'm not stupid. All right, like that's a key part as well.
I really need to worry more about what people think. I really do. Your mother has been on to me for years saying, you really don't care what people think, do you?
There's a lot of people that need the opposite advice of what you just said. But yeah, you are somebody that's like, hey, it's okay to think about what other people think sometimes.
If people think you're an idiot, it might not be the best business practice.
Yeah. Maybe think about it just a little bit.
Oh, goodness. Well, guys, it's been a great show. I hope everyone enjoyed tonight's show.
It's a very free flow podcast.
Free flow podcast.
Yeah. Cold open.
Cold open. No commercials. Just getting right into it.
Improv. That's all this was.
Improv. It felt like a natural podcast.
Yeah. Did it my style this time.
Yeah.
What does Michael Scott say? He's like, sometimes I like to start a conversation without really knowing where it's going to go. It's kind of like an improv conversation, like an improv crusation or something. You know? It's like,
well, it's just for those a little bit behind the scenes thing here is I had from 8:00 this morning up until tonight. Non-stop, and so no show notes, anything. I knew what we were going to be talking about because it was so important to get out there, because we literally have felt the effect of that asset in our business, which is that large data list, and the access to other data.
We had a busy week. I'm typically here for the weekends. I can kind of help with ticket. You were on content and kind of tickets for the weekend with River, and so we came in today like, hey, what are we doing?
We're just going to turn it on, hit record, and
hopefully people like it, but if not,
they will. Listen, if you do like the show, let us know. Give us a good review if you don't mind over on any area that you want, either at Facebook or YouTube or at iTunes or Stitcher. If you've got comments, got questions, you can actually, at this particular show, which will be posted at terrywilson3.com/511. You can add comments right there. terrywilson3.com/511 will be the podcast extension. Why are you looking at me that way?
Oh, that's the number of the podcast.
Yes, episode 511.
Gotcha.
So it'll be at Terry Wilson.
That's what I was trying. I was like, why would you make such a weird link?
Because it's the episode episode number.
Yeah, terrywilson3.com/1099. I'm like,
yeah. But I'm telling you, the numbers bear it out. You got social media is important. I have this year, my focus is LinkedIn and really honing in on that. And Coach Bobby's helping me with that. And talking about you need good people, good coaches.
Yeah.
Bobby sent me a text the other day. Good content, but you might want to back down a little bit. You're putting out too much, because I was overdoing. And so he was helping me out. That's what you need.
Oversaturation.
Yeah, oversaturated. Well, he knows the algorithms, and the algorithms might be interpreting what I was doing as spam. Not that I was putting out 10 things a day.
It's a mindset thing too, though. You ever followed a channel that it's like you really liked 1 or 2 videos, but they put 6 up a day,
and then they wear you out.
And it's not even a conscious thing. It's not like, oh, I don't want to watch them now. It's just more of like, I just see it all the time, and it just goes. Yeah.
You become part of the noise, and you don't want to do that. No, so it is. It's a fine art. You know, it's like, I feel like George Costanza on Seinfeld. You always, as soon as you say something funny or smart, you go, I'm out. And then you leave. Because it can only go down from there.
Yep.
So if you hit a good note, laughter or something smart, there's your exit.
Leave it.
All right, I'm out. Y'all like that video? Good. I'm gone.
See you guys next week.
Because I will screw everything else up from here. All right, guys. Well, we will be back next week at this same bat channel, same bat time. Elite members, we will be here 8 o'clock Wednesday night. If you are an Elite member, just go to, what is it? It's level 10, step 10.
Yeah.
And you go right in there and you hit that.
I said Thursday earlier in the podcast. It's Wednesdays, whatever.
It's Wednesdays at 8 p.m. Yep. Wednesdays at 8 p.m. If you don't follow me on LinkedIn, go to terrywilson3.com/LinkedIn. I tend to do some live streams there is what I've been doing, answering some questions, putting out some training. Of course, the recording of those trainings didn't get uploaded to, it'll be on LinkedIn, but also YouTube, so you can subscribe over there. But until next time, we will see you later.
Thank you for listening to our show today. If you have any questions or would like to speak with us about your goals, then please call or text us at 864-507-9696. Reach out to us online at terrywilson3.com.